TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Yours truly, Tony Basilio, along with you, fired up, focused, and prepared for you on an incredible Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Watson Brown going to join here momentarily. It's a Wednesday with Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. We're fired up, focused, and prepared for you. And excited for another day to be with you today. Let's do this thing, shall we? Pretty stacked and packed on a Wednesday. We've got a lot to talk about and very little time to get there. I'm pretty fired up today. I'm going to tell you something. I just had like a meltdown before we came on the air today, so... what else is new? But I'm trying to get used to this technology. Like, we've got all these new computers in the studio, and all my analog stuff's being phased out. So maybe some of you have experienced this, but this thing where you got to put the two fingers on the pad and you got to drag things over. I was just working on a commercial for Alumni Hall and a couple other things, and in the last couple days, and things don't work in here, and I just slammed a couple doors, and I aggravated Laura, and I'm just like, screaming and yelling things I shouldn't be yelling. Like, I'm not proud of it, and but geez, man, you talk about a guy urinated off. That me. And I said to her, I said, do I frustrate you? And she said, yeah, Fleet Pizza's analog. Yeah, I had a computer in here that we were using that was like 18 years old. It was a Mac. It was absolutely just a beautiful, wonderful piece of equipment, and it quit on me. No, actually, it was a Hewlett-Packard. I traveled all over the country with it, doing infomercials in the orthopedic industry from coast to coast. What was it? It was a ThinkPad. It was, for those of you that are into computers, but and it just broke like a month ago. My life hadn't been the same. And I just need to get a breath, because it just happened like before we came on, and I got my cortisol's all off the charts, and I'm fired up, focused, and prepared. I'm going down to see the Flyers tomorrow in Nashville, which kind of fires me up, focuses me, and prepares me, and I'm pretty pumped right now and pretty excited. And Brian Hartman watched some MAC football last night. Brian, please tell me you watched that game, right?
Yeah, the fourth quarter of it was pretty good.
Fourth quarter?
Yeah.
And
Miami of Ohio had their, I think, 11-game conference winning streak broken by Ohio.
The ThinkPad I had, somebody's wondering what it was. It was the ThinkPad I had was a unbelievable Andy Mac ThinkPad. Where's Cinco today, Bri? What happened to Cinco?
I don't know.
I mean, he made a couple of he made a couple of cameos on the post game, and
maybe he's chasing the lane train.
We went to him a couple times, and I couldn't hear him. But Pruitt's Net Gator says that we need Watson Brown to talk everybody off the ledge today. Brian was telling Plaster how surprised I was by the reaction to the Oklahoma game.
There he is.
And ladies and gentlemen, Sean Sinclair has now entered the room. Watson Brown will join here momentarily. I was really surprised that people were in full freak-out mode on Monday. Garrick GBO, LOL at your comment. Cinco, talk to me, brother. Why are people like in full freak out mode after the Oklahoma game? We couldn't hear you on the Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction because you were getting in bad areas, which is prone to happen with 100,000 people in one area in a close game that ends and yada yada yada. But Cinco, talk to me here. Why are you surprised people have been in full freak out mode after that game?
No, I don't think so. And I apologize for that. That was my fault. I just couldn't get through to you guys on Saturday, so I apologize. I wanted to be a part, but no, I don't, Tony, because I don't think freak out mode implies a lack of appreciation. I don't think freak out mode implies that they want a scalp of Josh Heupel on the wall. I think the freak out mode is. I think it's reasonable because what we saw in the Georgia game and what we saw in the Oklahoma game, and in parts the Alabama game, if we're honest, was just a team that continuously beats itself against legitimate teams. If you look at the schedule, we don't have a win against a legitimate team. 3 of the teams that we've beaten have lost their head coaches, and not at the time we played them, but no, I guess Arkansas had. But the attention to detail, the clock management, the oddly repeatable mistakes that people are watching with their own eyes seem to be unnecessary. We have not played a team, in my estimation, that blows us off the field on NIL, that blows us off the field on talent. I don't care about recruiting rankings, but talent. Alabama didn't. Georgia certainly didn't, even though they're highly rated. So I think that's where the thing is coming from. And people, I don't buy the high ticket price. I don't buy the experience getting in and out, which again I think is still over engineered and unnecessary on the part of the administration. But on the field, people are watching the exact same things happen over and over, and they're just not necessary.
You know, so you don't think it's been a total freak out, or you think it's been warranted then, the reaction? Because Monday's show was crazy. I mean, people were talking about the guy's appearance, and they have a sloppy team, and he's a sloppy guy, and then yesterday couple people doubled down on that, and I'm just like, and look, fans can think.
If you're talking about that, then yes, I side with Bino. That stuff's off the table with me. That's low hanging fruit that doesn't need to be part of the conversation. I don't have any time for that. But absolutely, if you're talking about the freak out about play calls or, here we go again. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's year 5. A lot of these things you talked about earlier, you sleep behind the wheel during the transfer portal last year.
It's really frustrating. So X wrote today, and X had the blog today at tclub.team. And X talked about the season, and he talked about the opportunity ahead to rework things. And X talked about some of the things Sean talked about, which many of us look at, which is the inattention to detail at times. And then the getting beat to the punch in the portal. And he's like, look, you got a real opportunity. And he says there's some pretty good young players in the pipeline. The problem with young players, Sean, is you got to let them cook a little bit. I mean, if you think you're going to pull guys out of your class this year and stick them on the field, it's going to be rough. If you're going to play some redshirt freshmen next year who are inexperienced, good luck in this league. You can do that. But Vanderbilt and some of these other clubs, and Georgia's one of them, have kind of shown that you can work around things by patching up on your defense. Cinco, I hope we're very active on defense in the transfer portal. I think that's going to be a must heading into next season's improved schedule. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think there needs to be an evaluation, a self-scout, if you will, about the way they're allocating NIL funds. There was some talk last year that they couldn't go heavy into the portal because they had They had committed a significant amount of, if not all of their budget to the signing class. That's a signing class that traditionally is not going to help you in year one and maybe not year two. I think they need to rework their thoughts on. If you take a look at the commitment list now, there's not a safety or a DB, frankly, that jumps off the page. I guess the kid from Utah could go over there, but chances are he wants to be a wide receiver. So, you know, instead of having three elite quarterbacks in a room where you're spending millions of dollars, perhaps you throw some money at a safety.
Yep.
Instead of having three elite pass rushers at Leo, where typically only one of them's on the field at the time. Now, two if you're in a rabbit package or prowler, as John Chavis used to call it. Oh, that's fine too, but maybe a different look at allocating funds, because what we're watching the middle of the field get dissected by pedestrian quarterbacks. I submit the Kentucky guy who couldn't find his own shadow in the middle of a sunny day, and yet he can throw for 350 against us. That's come on, that's deserving of a freak out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. And what's interesting about the Oklahoma game was the defense was pretty good till it was winning time, and then they couldn't stop them, which is indicative of a defense that just finds a way.
What I don't understand is you got look. I'm not a defensive coordinator, of course, at the college level. I fully get that. I work on teeth, but you know what? I don't have to be a weatherman to walk outside and tell you it's raining.
Amen.
When you're sitting there and you watch a quarterback that can't throw the ball 10 yards, and he couldn't accurately throw the ball more than 10 yards. Why are you not and you're playing zone anyway, why don't you put a spy on that guy?
Amen.
3rd and 16, and you got a guy that can't throw the ball 16 yards. Why not have a spy?
And like Matt said yesterday,
you don't have to be Woody Woodenhofer to understand. Why don't you do that?
And like Matt said yesterday, it's not like they have a good group of wide receivers either to push the ball downfield. Like this guy, you talk about expenditures in recruiting. It's so obvious what Brent Venables has done. They spend all their money on defense because he loves it. He gets off on holding people down, and good for him. He's got a great defense. Zero question about it. And in his mind, his expenditure on defense is the reason they won the Tennessee game. And who am I to argue? Who am I to argue in that? But when they played Ole Miss the week before that, they couldn't keep up because they don't have any players on offense. And even they got in a close game, but when I say couldn't keep up, I mean they couldn't make plays when it mattered. So now we get back to this season, Sean, which fortunately and unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, is far from over. Tennessee still has opportunities here. I told George Plaster yesterday, and look, that's a Nashville show. George went to Vanderbilt. In my opinion, unless Vanderbilt loses to either Auburn or Kentucky and eliminates itself from the playoff, which has been its history, the history of that school is that they find a way to lose to Auburn this weekend, or they find a way to let that really ratty Kentucky team beat them. That's their history. If they come in here, Sean, with a playoff berth on the line, and I don't care if we win, lose, or draw against Florida and score 1,000,000 points against that New Mexico State bunch on the Amachi tailgate day, and yes, we do need your tickets. Go to the website at tclub.team and please help us. Please help us. Please help us. God help us. But you want a different reality for Josh Heupel and Danny White? Danny's had it pretty easy around here. Danny hadn't seen much duress. Danny saw a little duress in the Tony Vitello thing. He didn't handle it well. The press conference wasn't very good. And nobody likes the duress. I was talking before you got on here, Sean. I'm in here wrestling with technology, and technology's winning, and I'm slamming doors in here and screaming and yelling and throwing things, and we've all been there. Josh Heupel and Danny White, if they lose a Vanderbilt game and let Vanderbilt go to a playoff, and Vanderbilt's name was mentioned last night in that playoff thing, if that happens, I think that's the darkest day in the modern history of Neyland Stadium. I don't think our fans, Sean, when you talk about the expenditure that we've made in college football, the $10 million coach, and look, I know everybody makes $10 million, and it's all relative. Okay, fine. But when you talk about Tim Banks makes $2 million a year, and this special teams coach makes this, and this guy makes that, and you want to talk about, and this is what dawned on me on Monday, because people were already getting premeditatedly angry about that, which I didn't anticipate. But I hadn't really considered the implications of it, which is why doing this show every day is of value. Because look, Laura and I have talked about this. We can make a living doing the post-game stuff, and we could do that. Like, I could easily shift my focus and relax and have an easy early retirement and, just kind of play music all the time and travel some and do the post-game stuff. I mean, really, we could do that. That franchise is that big. But here's the thing. Lose to Vanderbilt and let them go to the playoffs. And I'm telling you right now, Sean, we will be in full freak-out mode. Full freak-out mode. Yes or no?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I'm not going to rewrite history coming out of my mouth. I said preseason that I thought with Nico, we were an 8-4 team. And then without Nico, I would side with a 7-5 team.
Yep.
Now, that was before I saw how Joey Aguilar was played, and he's played fantastically well. He's made mistakes, but he's a far better player than Nico is, even right now at UCLA.
Yep.
And he's a far better fit. But the thing is about the freakout is about opportunity. Okay, I'll put an analogy. If you go into a final saying, man, I just want to get an 80, and you get an 80 and you're happy, great. But then you think about, wait, there was an opportunity for me to go to a review where the teacher was going to give all the answers. And you could have got a 95 or 100. You missed that opportunity. So sure, we're right where I kind of thought we would be, but we missed 2 golden opportunities to be 8-1 right now.
Yeah, because the schedule's not good.
You still have an opportunity to go 10. You still have an opportunity to have a 10-win season. And by any measure, it's a great year.
Excellent.
In my opinion,
excellent.
You can go if you can go 9-3, and you should. Florida has lost their coach.
Yep.
I get the rebound, but they're struggling. Many people have beaten them over the past 2 years, and many people have beaten them in Gainesville. There's no reason we can't do it. And if I'm arrogant, I'm arrogant. I don't care. But you should never lose to Vanderbilt. I don't care if they bring back the 85 Bears or if they at their prime or your Eagles of the past couple of years. Doesn't matter. You should beat Vanderbilt. We have every bit of advantage that anybody could want over that school.
Yeah.
And if you can't beat Vanderbilt in your own house, I'm not calling for your firing, but the whole stadium should be waving red flags.
Well, like
I agree with you.
Brian Hartman made a really good point yesterday, which I hadn't considered, and it's been rattling around in my brain ever since, which is this. In a weird way, if he gets out of here 9-3, Danny White can't walk down to his office and demand changes on his staff, which is probably the best thing for this guy in the long run, if he's going to make it and be viable, all that stuff. In a weird way. If he goes and the Vols fall twice, you'll have every reason to walk into his building or walk into his office and say, hey, man, what is your plan for next year? What is your plan? And so you have this thing when you think it through. Look, I hope they win both games and finish 9-3. And I've said on Monday, in the heat of the battle, when people are coming at me, I say, look, that's an A-level coaching job. If you take a team where you inherited a quarterback in May, basically you had what you would call a transfer portal trade, essentially, is what happened there. Make no mistake about it. Getting home to 9-3, I don't care against the schedule you've played, whatever, but Sean's right. It's been a brutal schedule from an easy standpoint. When you look at next year, you look at this schedule and you look at next year, I mean, you talk about night and day. You talk about a schedule of opportunity, but that's okay. If you can get back to 9-3 and get home and finish 3-0 from here, it's a great coaching job. A great. Not good, not very good. It's an A. It's an A. Some people don't want to hear that because we made this all about playoffs or bust. But if we lose to Vanderbilt to close the season, despite what happens with Gainesville, I've come to the conclusion that both Danny White and Josh Heupel are going to wake up in a new reality, and they're going to have more heat on them than ever before, which to me means that this season gets very compelling. I'm just laying it out there as I see it. I think this thing is very compelling, and we're going to take a brief time out, and we're going to come back on the other side, and Watson Brown's going to join us, presented by Simpson's Meats. And I want to ask Watson, what happened through his eyes? Why did Oklahoma play takeaway on the Vols more than anybody else this year when they haven't played takeaway all year? And what did they do through his lens to really confuse and bottle up Joey? As we continue with more, and really Josh Heupel's offense for the past 2 years. Venables has gotten the better of him, much better of him, as we continue with more right after this. Got a dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years. 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage Storage Logistics. We offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at goofon.com. That's goofon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Goofon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. I don't know how to say this other than to say that the Great Watson Brown is presented by our friends, and you better bow your head when you say thy name over at Simpson's Meats. But Watson and I were just talking a second ago, and, it's like I think about what could be, right? And what I don't know about Vandy is how are they going to handle the next couple of weeks? Because I remember when Tennessee looked up and saw their name in lights a couple years ago and then went to Georgia. And Georgia was 2022, right, Bri? And Georgia made an example of us, right, Bri? Was that 2022?
Yeah, they were voted number one in the first initial college football playoff poll.
Yeah.
And
it was wild. And that's a different spot than what Vandy's in. But Vandy knows right now, if they win, they're going to get in. They know that. And you got to deal with pressure. And for the first time at a place like that, when you see your name in lights, you got to deal with pressure. And this week they're playing a coach. They're playing a school for a coach that just got fired. And Sean made the point, Tennessee's got 3 coaches on their schedule that got fired. And all over college football, that's a new thing now. We don't even wait now to fire coaches. We just cook you. We call you in and cook you. I mean, back then it was a real big deal when Jack Crow at Arkansas got fired in the middle of the season after he lost to the Citadel. Now they cook you. I mean, now you get cooked like in week 2, week 3, it's cook you. The guy at UCLA, Watson, lasted like 3 weeks, and they cooked him. So Watson Brown joins on your TLD Logistics phone line, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, and I bow thy head when I say thy name. And Watson, this college football thing, all of a sudden, in 2025, we knew it was going to be compelling. But, man, this Vanderbilt story is very compelling, my brother.
Well, there's a lot of them. I mean, Vanderbilt, Indiana, Georgia Tech, Texas Tech. I mean, there's a bunch of them that this new era of the NIL and transfer portal has just changed the game completely. And middle to bottom level teams now can get up with the big guys, and they're doing it. They're doing it, and that's what's exactly going on. And now we're firing coaches 3, 4, 6, 8 weeks into the season, and I think these money guys are not very patient. I've dealt with them my whole career.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it's a hard thing to deal with when you get one coming after you to do this or to do that or whatever. They're just not very patient people, and that's what this whole thing's all about to me, Tony.
Well, because now you're leaning on these people more than ever.
Oh, much more.
You know, back in the day it was, who's the coach on the staff that has the suitcase that goes and meets a recruit, and who's going to put the money in the suitcase when you go meet the recruit? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that used to. Now it's, this guy costs $700,000 to keep on your team. This guy over here wants $1 million plus. This guy wants $2 million. You know, when you start asking for those kind of numbers, and you're a coach and you're making $8 or $9 or $10 million at some of these schools, they're going to fire you, and rather quickly. Or, in the case of a Josh Heupel, who, here's the thing. Let's face facts here. He got handed a really tough deck this year. Now, in one sense, he got handed an easy schedule. But in the other hand, his quarterback walked out after spring ball. His starting safety walked out after spring ball. They already didn't have the McCoy kid. And the thought was, if we get him back, boy, that'll be a real bonus. Then they get Ricky Gibson hurt in the Syracuse game, so they don't have their other corner. So now all of a sudden, I've got a kid that I've got from Colorado and Colton Hood. I've got a true freshman out there at corner. And anybody that can play on my roster is going to exploit those guys. Then I've had 2 injuries on my defensive line. I've got a true freshman starting. All this is going on while I got a true freshman starting at tackle, who turned the wrong way the other day. He's going to be a really nice player, but he turned the wrong way the other day and totally changed the trajectory of the Oklahoma game. But you know what these people are going to care about, Watson, at the end of the year? You lost to Vanderbilt, if that happens, and they went to the playoffs and you didn't. Watson, I'm telling you, I've been here 30-plus years doing this, and this rattles around in my brain, because it's in the rearview mirror now, and or it's in the windshield, not the rearview mirror, and I'm looking ahead. Watson, if Vanderbilt wins the next 2 games and they get to Neyland Stadium playing for a playoff berth, that'll be the most pressure Josh Heupel and Danny White have ever had on them in their lives, Watson, to not lose that game to a very capable Vanderbilt football team. It will be crazy around here, Watson.
Well, and Tony, people don't care about excuses.
No,
they just don't. Been there, done that. I mean, just keep your mouth shut and keep playing, because they don't want to hear it. They don't care. It's win or it's lose, and so all that really doesn't matter. And it's true. It is true. Tennessee is not near as good as they were yet last year on defense, and there are a lot of reasons for that. And that's been their issue. Their issue has been defense all the way through, and critical mistakes in the 3 losses at very critical moments in the game.
That's what me and Sean
but they're critical moments because the defense isn't good, and the offense has just got to do this, got to do that.
Yep.
And if they're going to win, that has to happen, and that puts more pressure on your offense. I've been there with that many, many times. And when that happens, it's sometimes that one mistake that wouldn't kill you with a really good defense, like last year's, kills you this year. So it's just like that. They've been so unlucky. The quarterback's faking opposite to where the right tackle, the freshman tackle, turned the wrong way. He thought the protection was left, and it was right. And he just stepped the wrong way, and the guys around the corner, well, Aguilar's back's to it because he's faking on the opposite side, and then as he turns to throw, that's why it's hard to fake left and then throw sometimes, because it's a complete different footwork than when you're right-handed and faking to the right. The left-handed fake is complete different footwork. Well, Aguilar just didn't see him. And he just did not, because he's just getting turned to get ready to let the ball go. He's expecting that got to be blocked because he's already looked at the protection and got it like just stuff like that. It's just, in a lot of ways, unlucky. Honestly, just unlucky at times.
And that's right. And like Sean, because I was asking Sean, because our fans have been kind of freaking out last couple of days, like more than I thought they would. Because I would have thought that most people would have my perspective, which is, hey, if we can get home at 9-3, it would be a really nice season. But it's almost like the playoff thing last year kind of spoiled us, and we forgot about what happened in the offseason. And one of the reasons why we forgot is that Joey is a better fit for this offense than Nico was. There's no question that's true. But we played a big boy defense the other day, and I think they're the biggest of the big boy defenses we've seen so far. The numbers say that. Like, Alabama's like in the 40s in the rankings, and Oklahoma's way at the top of the sport. And Georgia's not there this year. Georgia got our hopes up, but it turns out, and they keep winning, but they're not that vintage Georgia team they've been. And if they get to the playoffs, that's a hell of a job by that head coach, really, because they're personnel-wise, they're just not there. However, they're winning all these close games because I guess they do little things well. I don't know. They get all the calls, too. I guess that doesn't hurt. But, Watson, let's go back to the Oklahoma game real quick. As Watson Brown joins and presented by Simpson's Meats. And now we're going to unpack this. Just like when you go to Simpson's Meats, or say you order one of their gift boxes and you unpack it, you're going to know that you're dealing with the very best in quality. 1888 on Jim Simpson's farm, they began this tradition. They raise and source meat on farms, on pasture, on purpose. No hormones, as they say in the trade, none of that stuff. It is pure as a driven snow. And you will taste the difference, whether it's the steaks, the burgers, the zazich, the roast, the chickens. They've got a variety of local offerings at their butcher shop, and they're located out of Level Road. Go there and shop today or anywhere online at simpsonsmeats.com. Watson, what happened to our veteran quarterback that's played a lot of games, who's been pretty clean with the football for the most part? How did we unravel in the first half? What, through your eyes, did Oklahoma do to the Vols?
Oklahoma I think, is the best defense in the Southeastern Conference. And they also have the best scheme that really bothers Tennessee. Tennessee has not done well 2 years in a row against what Venables does, and he very, very, very similar, changed some little stuff here and there, but 4 down linemen more this year than he did last. Last year was 3. But the coverage looks and the things that he does bothers Tennessee. And 2 things bother a quarterback. When you see a quarterback play bad, especially in the passing game part, it's 2 pieces. Number 1, he's confused. Or number 2, he's got pressure all around him. But the other night he had both of those at the same time. And it bothered him. And he didn't play as well. That's been quarterback history for me for 40 years. Number 1, if he's confused, he's playing as half a man. Number 2, if he's got bodies around him, he's playing as half a man. It is a very hard thing for a quarterback to do. And that's exactly what happened to Joey the other night.
Yeah, so that the safeties at the line of scrimmage before the ball snapped. I'm texting
they
with you. I'm texting with
different looks to him.
Yeah.
But it's either they're up and they run out, or they're back and they come up, or they're back and stay back, or they're up and they blitz. You have to watch it as the ball snapped. I always tell quarterbacks, if there's a single safety sitting in the middle of the field, you've got a pretty good idea it's going to be one of a couple of things. But you still have to watch that single safety as the ball's being snapped, because he might rotate one way or the other. When there's two safeties in the middle of the field, you've got a pretty good idea it's going to be one of two or three things. But you've got to watch both safeties when there's two, down and one rotate back, whatever. And so I don't think he did a good job of that the other night. It's also really hard when you're faking the ball. When you fake the ball, it's hard to see all of that at the same time. And they do a lot of play action passing. So I think Oklahoma bothered them. Oklahoma the other night, Tony, basically played with 5.5 in the box. This is exactly what we talked about last year with them. They played 5.5. They got a safety sitting deeper in the middle of the field that comes running down when he sees ball handed off. And so they're playing with 5.5 in the box and got away with it. Tennessee could not run the ball the way they've been running the football. And I saw where Brent said after the game, on Sunday, I guess it was, we were going to have to be patient because we were scared of those receivers. We had to come at it in a patient way. We could not leave ourselves out there all day long in a one-on-one. I think the respect of those guys had a lot to do with the way Oklahoma lined up the other night.
So they respect Tennessee's receivers. Tennessee saw sets where they thought they could run the ball. And Watson, they couldn't get anything going with the running game.
No.
What bogged down Tennessee's running game, Watson?
Got physically whipped for the first time I've seen it all year. The line of scrimmage did not move the other day. And I also think that when it got going in the second half and they got behind, Josh didn't run it as much. Started throwing it more than if he had it to do over, he'd probably try to stay within his system a little more than he did.
Yeah.
And he kind of lost his patience a little and started throwing it too much. He's going to need to come up with some that Tampa 2 look that Oklahoma played a lot, meaning 2 deep look, but it's really a 3 deep coverage when you run somebody down the middle of the field. And I don't want to get complicated here, but he's going to have to come up with some nice play action passes off of that, because in his run pass stuff, Tony, that is triggering hand the ball off in those looks. Don't throw into that. He's going to have to go ahead and come up with some nice play action passes into that type coverage to throw even when they're doing that, and not drop back passes. Just some good old high low things. There are ways to attack that coverage, and he knows them. Believe me, he knows them.
What I think
he's going to have to. I think somebody else will do that to him before this year's over. Because Oklahoma has by far played Tennessee better than anybody the last 2 years on defense. By far.
See, I think it's really interesting you bring this up, because in both Tennessee's losses, they've abandoned the run. In the last 2 losses. The Georgia game was, you missed a field goal, should have won the game. But in the Alabama game, Tennessee just got away from their running game and started throwing the ball too much and got themselves in trouble.
Well, they got behind right at halftime.
Yeah, they got behind.
At halftime.
Yeah.
That was such a blow.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think they lost their patience a little in the second half. They went right down and scored. First time they got the ball in the second half. And
the Oklahoma game.
I thought maybe lost their patience from that point on a little bit.
They took the lead, right? And then...
No, I don't think they took the lead, but they got close.
Saturday, yeah.
They got close. They were down 10, weren't they, or 14?
No.
I can't remember.
I'm talking about in this game, though. They take the lead in the third quarter, and then they still got away from the running game, which I guess he just decided we can't win at the line of scrimmage. Even when we have the numbers, we can't win at the line of scrimmage.
Well, and they weren't. They weren't the other night. Now, I will totally defend him that way. When you're not running the ball into looks that you should be able to run it into, it makes you think other things. It makes you think other things.
Yeah.
So I've been there, done that, man. I'm telling you, when you're sitting there and you've had this plan, and here it is, and it ain't working into that plan, you've got to make some adjustments. You just can't keep doing it. If he had done that and nothing happened, he'd be catching all kind of grief today.
So I want to make sure I got this right now. You believe that 2 years in a row, Oklahoma did essentially the same thing to Josh Heupel with two different quarterbacks.
Same philosophies, a little different looks, but yes. They were going to take, by alignment, the wide receivers out of the game as far as deep stuff. That's what they did again last Saturday. And they brought them more than you think. I'm not saying that, but they pick and choose their times to do it. And they seemed to be very successful the other night when they did. He just had control of the game, and I just think that Tennessee's got to attack that look more and not just say, okay, to get this, we're going to run the ball. I've been there. I've done that same thing.
How do you?
Because it tells you to throw it or it tells you to run it by what they're in, by the numbers in the box and all that stuff. And I just think sometimes, even though it's telling you to run, you need to throw some nice run play action passes and attack the look they're in. And I think they'll do that more as time goes on.
A couple of those plays we threw up were just kind of hapless, weren't they? They almost looked like throw punts.
Well, he had people in his face. He did, and he couldn't step, and he lets it go, and he's not on balance, and he's throwing off his back foot. Nothing good comes from that, Tony. Nothing at all. Like I said, go back to what I said first. I'm really defend Joey. He got confused on the looks a little bit, and probably got a little nervous. He's new in this offense, and saw something that maybe he wasn't exactly expecting. I don't think he kept his eyes on the safety, so coverage surprised him. And then he had people in his face, and that's the two things that kill a quarterback. Don't ever forget that. Those are it. It's a simple thing when you play that position and pass the ball. Those two things will kill a quarterback.
So they sped him up, sort of sped us up, and we ended up playing at their pace, basically.
Well, and then made critical mistakes.
And made the mistakes.
Still could have won the game, even that happened.
That's right.
Because move the ball better than you think now.
Oh, no
question.
Go
look at the stats.
Yeah.
They moved the ball well, but the critical mistakes took points away. Just took points away. And in those kind of games, when you're playing a good, solid football team, and your defense isn't real good, and they've known it all year, Josh has had to fight it all year long. He's first class, and he don't make excuses, and he don't say, boy, our defense this and that. He just stays away from all that.
No, he doesn't.
But believe me, in the meeting rooms during the week, he knows what he's dealing with on the other side. And I don't think it's coaching. I just don't think they're as good this year. You named a lot of the reasons why, but I just don't think there's personnel is as good. I really don't.
And in this era of college football, Watson, so many of these teams are incomplete compared to what we used to see because, like, I watched Brent Venables, and Sean made a point, and I'm going to ask a question for him. Why are we letting a quarterback that cannot throw the ball run for 21 yards on a third down? Why in college ball, and we watched James Franklin's Penn State team do this with this highly paid defensive coordinator that was at Ohio State, that Penn State paid all this money to, and then it comes out the week of the UCLA game, the week before the UCLA game, after they had lost, the week of the Oregon game, he had gone and interviewed for the Oklahoma State job. This guy has his eyes on another job while he's making $2 million. You got to love these guys these days. You talk about a one-way street with these coaches today. Anyway, I digress. We don't use spies. Why at that level would I let a kid that cannot throw the football on 3rd and 21 run the ball for a first down, Watson? Because I don't have anybody watching him. Why is that?
Most of the time, Tony, when you spy a guy,
right,
it's going to be one of two things, and it's usually the second. The first is you rush forward and you'll hold one, and is he athletic enough to even get the guy on the ground if he sees him, and you'll hold one out. But the base way you hold a spy is you're going to play man coverage, man-free coverage behind it, And when you rush 4 in man free, again, I'm getting a little technical here, but when you rush 4 with man free, you have 2 free guys. You have a linebacker sitting in the middle of the field free, and you have a safety deep free. Well, when you spy somebody, now all of a sudden you take the linebacker that's free, put him up close to the line of scrimmage, acts like he's going to blitz, and he'll back out and eyeball the quarterback to stay with him wherever he goes. That's the base way to do it. I don't think Tennessee trusts to play man free. I don't think they trust to play a whole lot of man free and rush 4 guys to where you can do that. Again, it sounds like I'm defending them.
No.
I'm just telling you the way that I've been through this.
Who's the lack of trust on?
I've had to try to play athletic quarterbacks. It's the hardest thing in football to do is to contain an athletic quarterback. Look at Texas and Vanderbilt the other day.
Yep.
Texas played exactly what I'm talking about. Most of the game. And they rush, look like they're rushing 5, sometimes bringing all 5.
Yeah.
And then back one out, and he's absolutely spying Pavia. And as soon as Pavia would take off, which he does a lot, boom, he went to get him. And he's athletic enough to get him on the ground. What do they do in the fourth quarter? 4 minutes to go in the game. The score is 34-16.
Right.
They start backing off.
Right.
They start defending now, and look what Pavia did to them. Yep. So that's what we're talking about right there. That's the best way to spy one. And running quarterbacks that are good passers too. If it's a running quarterback that doesn't throw well, there's a lot of different things you can do. But running quarterbacks that are good passers too is the toughest thing to stop in college football in today's world. Absolutely the toughest thing to stop.
But this Mateer guy can't throw the ball, though, Watson.
He's getting better now. He's getting back. I saw some bad throws. I saw some throws that he wasn't making 3 weeks ago, that he made a few. He's getting better. Oklahoma's one to watch. Now, they still got a tough schedule left.
Oh, they're going to, they're going to lose.
I think schedule's going to get them.
Let me ask you this.
I think schedule will get Texas.
Let me ask you
I think
this.
both of those two are going to fall out because of strength of schedule.
Let me ask
the rest of the way who they got to play.
Let me ask you this. This is a great upset week for Vanderbilt. You played an emotional game at Texas. You hung in the game. You had a chance to recover onside kick. You didn't do it. I don't know if you want to use the term moral victory. I think that program is past that, but it was a hell of an effort. It was a very good football game, the way they fought back. But now you're playing somebody that's, an opponent that's lost their coach. We see this all the time now. We've called it the coach bump now. Everybody calls it. It's got its own little name, Watson. The coach bump. This guy brings his new ideas in. We saw what Gonzalez did down at Florida. The coach bump. I'm gonna bring my new ideas. I'm gonna do. Is Vandy on upset alert this week, Watson? What do you think?
Of the 3 left, this would be the one. They have an open date before Kentucky. So they're going to be a lot fresher when they come to town. And then, of course, believe me, Black and Gold gets ready to play Tennessee.
Yep.
So that's an easy week as far as mindset. You always get Vanderbilt's best, or he was when I was there as assistant and head coach. I didn't have to say a word.
Yep.
It was just that they wanted to play hard in that one. And so this is the game to me that would be the one. And it's going to all depend on Auburn's quarterback. Auburn's defense is very close to Oklahoma's defense.
Yep.
They're very close now. They're really good. Mm-hmm. Their offense has been so bad that it doesn't show. It just doesn't show. But their defense now is really good, and Vanderbilt ought to be a little tired. This is going to be 4 in a row, and then they get the open date next week, and when you get that, you get a chance to really regroup. And so I'm not as concerned about Kentucky as I am
zero
this
chance
one with Auburn.
Yeah, Kentucky has 0 chance against those guys. They're going to get run over at the point of attack and run into the ground. This is really interesting. It's a crazy sport right now. And as you say, Texas should have been put out of their misery by Mississippi State. Really, the week before they got let up.
How about Kentucky? They had 8 first downs. Kentucky had 24.
That's crazy. That's a crazy sport.
And they win the game.
Yeah.
Geez, that don't happen very often.
No, a lot of frustrated fans. Watson. A lot of frustrated fan bases that think they're very close because these games are close now. Depending on the eye of the beholder. I'll tell you this, and I've said this, and I want your thoughts on the way out. If Heupel can figure out a way, and that staff, to get home at 9-3, I would give them a solid A for this season. I'd say that's an A-level coaching job. Sure, you missed the playoff, but 9-3 would be a great recovery from here. And I don't know that it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be very easy. You got to go to Florida and win, and you got to beat that very alive Vanderbilt team from here. And I don't think either one of those are going to be very easy.
No, but doable.
But doable.
But doable. They're both winnable games.
Yes.
Absolutely. They're winnable football games. I mean, when you can come as close as you came, much closer than the score looked to beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Honestly, you should have beat Georgia. It just didn't fall your way.
Yes.
It just did not fall your way. And then Oklahoma, okay, they got beat.
Yep.
They did not play as well offensively with the turnovers, but they're close, Tony, to being a one-loss bunch right now. Very close.
That's why our
with the defense not being great. So I don't know. You know me. I defend coaches more.
Yep.
I guess I do. I don't mean to, but I guess I do. But I just think Tennessee's been unlucky. They've just been unlucky this year, and there's been so much pressure put on their offense. Yep. You know, last year Josh got to play to the defense.
Yep.
Sometimes everybody get on him for doing that, but he'd win games. He played it this year. He has not been able to do that at all, not one time.
Yep.
And the last thing I'll say, I know it's getting close. I giggle with all this, Tony, because I knew this was going to happen. When all this money came into play and this transfer portal, I said, these bottom teams now have the first time in their history to get up with the top teams because what's on the side of that helmet don't mean the same anymore. And so what did that do? It leveled out the league, and now you put 9 games next year into that. There are going to be a bunch of upset fans now because I'm telling you, the SEC probably top to bottom of there's 3 teams right at the bottom. Everybody else can beat everybody. There is not a dominant football team in the SEC. The reason there's not is this money in this transfer portal changes everything, and fans might as well get used to it because they're going to be upset a bunch because there ain't nobody running through leagues and just dominating everybody anymore. Those days are gone, in my opinion.
And Watson, you know who's going to win games? Are the teams that don't beat themselves.
Don't beat yourself,
just like
and
the
you're
NFL.
lucky to stay healthy, which did not happen to Tennessee this year.
Tennessee did not stay healthy, and they've been beating themselves. That's
they weren't real deep on defense, and then
right.
they got unlucky. They've been very lucky at receiver because they're not deep there.
That's right. So
when those guys have stayed healthy.
That's exactly right. But when you beat yourself in this league, you are going to lose. Like in a lot of leagues, you can beat yourself and get away with it and get out of there with a win. In this league, even against those middle-bottom teams, I mean, Tennessee was pretty fortunate to get out of Mississippi State with a win when you look back at that game. But it all evens out because they should have beaten Georgia. Georgia beat themselves in Knoxville and still got out with a win because
that was Georgia's lucky game.
They're very lucky.
It's kind of just been their year.
It has been lucky for them.
They have fallen into games, Tony.
Yep.
And it's amazing how that works. Once it gets started, it seems to just keep going.
Yep.
And then the next year, it might not happen that way. But this year, Georgia, to me, has been the lucky one. And they're very resilient.
But they're lucky.
You can't be lucky if you're not resilient
That's
and
right.
give yourself that chance.
Watson,
they never lose their cool. They keep hanging in there.
Yep.
And I can't tell you how many times they've won this year when you were sitting there saying, I don't know if they're going to win this one. I mean, Florida the other day. I mean,
that was gross.
They're floating around. They're floating around. Look at Ole Miss.
Gross.
Ole Miss is wearing them out.
Gross.
I mean, Ole Miss didn't punt till the fourth quarter.
Gross.
Then all of a sudden, Georgia comes back and wins the game and stopped them 3 times in a row. It's unbelievable, but it's kind of been their year.
Watson.
But they're not through yet now. Texas ain't no gimme. They got still left to play, too.
I love you, Watson.
And Georgia Tech,
man.
believe me, Georgia Tech will be ready to play that game.
Watson, I love you. You're my man. I love you. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
See you, brother. See you, brother. Holla, 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 holla. He presented by Simpson's Meats. He gets going. He gets me fired up, focused, and prepared. He gets me pumped for another day. We got a lot to talk about after this. Tennessee has been unlucky with some injuries, but they've also been very self-inflicting in terms of the things they've done. And it's all added up to a very confusing season. I find myself here confused because I'm kind of appreciative that they've had a good run at this thing and that they took playoff hopes into November. And then I'm kind of like, well, the schedule's easy. But then I'm kind of like, well, no, not really. You had Georgia beat, and I'm just kind of confused. But I live confused. More after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Living Vol Fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations, Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go
Vols!
Vols!
Tony, be back with you, 865-200-5402. As we welcome you back on a Wednesday, Dr. Sean Sinclair's in the house. The great Watson Brown's in the house. We have a lot to get to. If you want to get in, 865-200-5402 is the numero dos. I keep thinking about, obviously, the Amachi Tailgate game's up next, and we need your tickets. And Amachi Brooks says we've got like 80 in, so we've had some come in. But, man, we've got a week and a half, and we got to make this thing happen. And I really need you. I really need you to step up for us, for the cause. And you know, I should be pumping it more than I am. But I want to go back to a few things Watson Brown said, and then I want to go to the phones. Guys, Watson Brown says on our presented by Simpsons Meats, shout out to them. Watson says that basically Oklahoma did the same thing to Joey that they did to Nico last year. Now, here's a question. You got all summer to work on this stuff. He thinks this guy at Oklahoma defends Tennessee better than anybody in the league, which is an interesting thing to say. Because we used to think it was Georgia that defended him better than anybody in the league. Isn't that an interesting thing for Watson Brown to say? He said that the use of the safeties really, really confused. And walking under the line and disguising their coverage, he said they just had Joey all out of sorts, who still, in Watson's mind, still made a lot of plays. But they really frustrated him. And then with the pressure, they really frustrated him. Your thoughts on that, Sean? Just that he said it was almost a carbon copy of what they did last year.
Well, I think a couple things. One, certainly we were less disciplined in taking what was there. I mean, he had underneath stuff all night long, and he kept going deep. And I get it. We were successful to a lot of the time, so I'm not ripping him on that, but I think that's right. They played a lot of three high safety and trying to take that away, and we still kept going to that well. But I threw for over 400 yards. It's hard to complain about that. But my concern about that, if that statement is accurate, then absolutely what value is Seth Luttrell offering? Seth Luttrell was the offensive coordinator during that game. He would have been in all those meetings. And now he's been at Tennessee the whole time. So right now you have Josh Heupel, an Oklahoma quarterback. You have Joey Halsey, an Oklahoma quarterback. You have Seth Luttrell on that staff, an Oklahoma offensive coordinator, former running back. And you have Landry Jones, a former Oklahoma quarterback on that staff.
Wow.
How in the world are four of those guys that should just be absolutely itching to tear that Oklahoma team apart? How do they not have that offense locked down? And another thing is, for the people that are, you say that you didn't say this, but the freak out, how many more times do you have to watch a critical game where Josh Heupel just absolutely bungles the clock and game management? Bungles, I say. Taking 18 seconds-ish off, then to call a timeout.
Yeah.
Then to get a play where you put a true. This happens over and over and over and over again. Sometimes there has to be an evaluation. Go, hey, look, let's do something a little bit differently. And my suspicion is that because he's trying to dial up the next great play, and I don't mean that sarcastically, because I think he does draw up good plays, if not great plays.
Yeah, he's very good.
You cannot be a master to two different things. I can see what they're doing. During that time, they're probably saying, hey, what do you think? What do you think real quick? Let's get this. The clock's ticking. The clock's ticking. We got to get this. We got to get this. You can't have that. Someone has to be identifying these moments where you got to call a timeout. Hey, coach, you need a timeout. Hey, this, that, or the other. Because what I suspect is because Josh Heupel is the primary play caller, the head coach, all the other guys just take a subservient role. Halsey, I don't care if he's offensive coordinator. No one's listening to him except anybody in that quarterback room. Yeah. All eyes are on Josh Heupel. I mean, that's just too much for one man to concentrate on.
Amachi Tailgate Ticks at gmail.com is that address if you want to help us out. That Amachi program, what they do is just so incredible in our community. A mentoring program for children, one or both parents incarcerated. Amachi Brooke last week, it was very impactful what she said, and Brad Hedrick down there was over there just kind of gobsmacked when she says, hey, one of the young girls that went to the game last year, she said she came up to Miss Brooke and said, Miss Brooke, she said, I want to come here. I want to come to school here. And Brooke was like, wow. You got to understand something. A lot of these children that we've had a chance to serve through this tailgate, and it's not much. It's one day a year, and it's some airtime. It's not much. But a lot of these children that we serve through this tailgate have never been on UT's campus, let alone going to see a sporting event or a game. And so this is an opportunity for you to use something that we are passionate about, we enjoy, no matter what team we cheer for, and touch others. And think about it through the eyes of those kids. I can still remember my first sporting event. I mean, it was a first time I went to a sporting event was a hockey game. My first baseball game was more impactful. My first hockey game was unbelievably cool. I mean, when I saw the colors on the ice, the Atlanta Flames and the Flyers. But, you know, thinking back to the advantages I had as a child, and these children, man, could fall through the cracks. And they've got a mentoring program. It's there for them. And what am I asking for? I'm asking for you to share a Machi Tailgate Tix, Tix, at gmail.com on every chat board you get on. Go on Twitter and tweet it out, a Machi Tailgate Tix at gmail.com. We should have these tickets by the end of today. But it's going to take you. Not going to take me. So, 865-200-5402. We are not live Friday at Calhoun's. We're not live Friday at Calhoun's. And I'm going to go and enjoy a day. I'm going to go and see the Philadelphia Flyers play, because I'm going to be right back in here on Saturday doing Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. Brian, who do we play Saturday? The Norse, is that what they're called?
Northern Kentucky.
The Norses.
Basketball team from the Horizon League.
The Norses, right? Are they any good?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have been a tournament team recently, but it's a bye game. They should handle by
Brian, are we any
20
good?
If they play well. If they play bad,
are we any
they
good,
should
Brian?
win by 20.
Are we any good, Brian?
I don't think they're as good right now as they'll be later on in the season.
Yeah, the Vols are a work in progress. Let's go back to the phones at 865-200-5402. Yeah, the Vols are very much a work in progress. But the Norse will be in town. Is that like a 3 o'clock start, Brian, on Friday? Or am I seeing things?
Saturday, a 3 o'clock start.
3 o'clock. So we'll be on around, I don't know, 5:10, 5:15 Eastern time. And maybe do a couple little watch along here. Maybe we'll do a little football. Maybe we'll mix our business with our pleasure, if you know what I mean. And then obviously, have we heard what the start time is for the Florida game, Bri?
No, that won't be determined until next Monday.
What would be your guess? Maybe we should look at the card a little later on and go from there. Negadave's chosen not to call today.
I'm thinking either a noon game or night game.
I bet you it's a noon game. Well, we would much rather have it a noon game, right?
I think so, yes.
I don't want our quarterback down there in a night game with their defense.
And keep in mind, it's November, late November. It won't be scorching hot like it is if it were September. It's later in the year, so it won't be terribly uncomfortable.
Back to our phones we go. And then yesterday, who was in here? Really great advertisement for Jacksonville. John Adams, who said he lived there, he said it'll be about 45 degrees for that bowl game. That was really, John really painted a picture. And a picture. Let's go to the phones. We'll get as many people in here as humanly possible. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
I'm on.
You're on. Go right ahead.
Hey, man, it's boy Billy from Harriman, man.
Hey, boy Billy.
Hey, man, Simpson's meats might not be hormonal, but my fiance sure is, man. I got to get out of the house and walk about 2-3 miles while I listen to y'all, man. I tell you, man, Watson, he was on it again, man. All the stuff he's talking about is what I've been seeing, and basically the same thing my favorite rapper down in New Orleans has been saying for years, man. The transfer portal is all about the money, and as Lil Wayne, the cultural shapeshifter and orator extraordinaire, once said, too much money ain't enough money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, Lil Wayne is a guy that, I've kind of set my set my clock by, and he is definitely a man. He's up there. Winston Churchill,
No
the
doubt.
Obamas of the world, John F.
No
Kennedy, and then you got Lil Wayne. Because when he sung about the club, brah, there was nothing like the club.
It goes down, man.
Because we were in the club for a while.
That was 50 Cent, not Lil
Oh,
Wayne.
you're right. 50 Cent was in the club, right? Well, I was confused. What's wrong with me, man? God, man, I
don't know much hip hop, but I
need
know
a break,
that.
y'all. I need a break. My fitty. And then there's
Hey, Tony,
Lil Jon. I love Lil Jon too.
Hey, Tony, I got.
He was the standby for water. Third down for what guy?
Lil Jon, yeah, and he did what? Okay.
All right. Hey, Tony, all week you had these game ahead scouts on telling us the safeties from Soonerland was no good, but I'm out here watching the game. They're out there floating like Willie Mays in the fall leaf fall on the ground, just picking off Joey football left and right. I mean, these game ahead scouts, they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, it's totally off base. Remind me when I was 8 years old at the Knoxville Petting Zoo at the Tennessee Fair. My mom, she gave me a handful of quarters to feed little goats. And I didn't realize there was a machine to go get pellets. I just fed the quarter straight to the goats, man. I almost killed those goats. I mean, these guys don't know what they're doing, just like I was doing back in, 1993.
Cinco, how about him telling us that in his mind they did the same thing last year that they did, and they didn't take any balls away against anybody, but they took 3 against us in the first half, Sean. How do you account for that?
Crazy.
Well, I think those interceptions were just poor decisions and bad throws. I don't think they made any great plays.
That R. Mason Thomas made a great play. I know that.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand what, look, great teams obviously have great talent, but the talent pool's been diluted except for Ohio State. And we've seen that around here with with Alabama and Georgia, but the great teams do the little things, and I'm not blaming him, but on that play, what is Miles Kitselman doing? Get the guy on the ground.
It was amazing. It was a crazy play. And then the guy blows a hammy and he walks into the end zone. Who's chasing after him?
I don't know, but
Crazy
it's just
play.
it's these little things over and over and over. Like a couple weeks ago, I don't know if it cost us. I don't remember, but the quarterback fumbles the ball and we spit it around thinking it's an incomplete pass.
No, that was Mississippi
The whistle
State
didn't
game.
blow.
That was,
Little bitty things.
Yeah, that was Mississippi State game. Yep. Anything else for us down there in Harriman, Billy? What's your Billy Boy in Harriman?
Yeah, I got a little mile left on my walk before I got to go back in and deal with everything. But I just give a shout out to Nick Dave, like always. I saw Bitcoin dip below 100,000 last night for a few hours. I know that had to make him smile. Just seeing a little bit of downside there.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, when Bitcoin dropped, thank you. And Nega Dave loves it when those job numbers come out and they're down a little bit or good government shutdown. Nega Dave, Nega Dave feeds off the. Let's go back to the phone. Nega Dave. Come on, man. You guys are picking on old Nega Dave. Back to the phones we go. Who is really an irritant?
I saw. I heard on your show with Alex. He's already started on basketball.
Oh, he guys winning 5 SEC games the other day.
Did he rip the Lady Vols for losing soccer the other night? I didn't hear that.
Listen. I was proud of Alex the other night because Alex didn't take no grief from anybody.
Yeah, but I will say this, Nega Dave, if you're out there, I think you are. If you're out there, I like your calls, and I'm here to tell you, as a guy that's been doing this for a while, you're great for radio, man.
He's fun. He's Nega Dave. Hello and welcome.
I agree. I totally
everybody
agree. I'm not
needs everybody needs a rain cloud. You can't have sunshine all the time. Hello and welcome into our next call. You are on our Wednesday edition of your Tony Basilio show. The blog today over at tclub.teams, a couple thousand words. X wrote a state of the program. And I sure hope we get active in the transfer portal because this is a real offseason of opportunity for Tennessee, for Josh Heupel that's coming up. And unfortunately, the clock is so sped up that you have to talk about the offseason before you get to the offseason. in as much as I hope we add 8 to 10 defensive players, and I am not kidding when I say that. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony C.
Hey, E, welcome in.
I agree about getting into the portal. The glass half empty thing is that, yeah, we need to get out. That's something we needed to do last season too. And you're sitting here wondering, well, how come they didn't? To me, one of the major, if I just I'm going to take the old Sesame Street song or whatever it is. One of these things is not like the other. Hey, what's the thing that's not like the other on this team? It's Joey Aguilar. Joey Aguilar is the one player on this team that I think is head and shoulders above everybody else. And I said it. I think he's the engine that's pulling this team the way that Dylan Sampson did. So as late as August, I would have sat there and said 7-5. Yeah, that's possible. A mulligan season. Yeah, that's possible. But then you got this guy on the field and you watch how he plays and you're like, 7-5. This is not a tomato can quarterback. This is a quarterback that could get you to the CFP, begging the question, what have we done with the rest of the team? And to Sean's point, this is year 5. If you just do a little bit with the rest of this team, then you're not sitting in this position now where you're looking over the abyss at these last 3 games saying, oh my gosh, are we going to go 7-5? Are we going to lose to Vandy in our own building? We shouldn't be in that position. That's what's concerning to me with Heupel. It's the same stuff that we've seen before, and it doesn't seem like it's changing. Now I'm gonna give you the glass half full. You know, Rick Barnes turned heel after the fist ballers left. After those guys left, and he almost went to UCLA, like someone else we know, right? The cupboard was kind of empty, and it's like, no, geez, what are we doing now? How are you going to follow that up? And the deal was, it's not that anybody wanted necessarily to fire Rick Barnes, but there was frustration because there was a lot that was left on that table. There was a lot of basketball that was left on that table. It felt like, after Schofield and Grant Williams left, and you think to yourself, well, dang, how are we going to reload? Well, he eventually did get on with it. He turned heel. He turned heel a little bit, and he learned to play in this world and reload. So maybe Heupel can do the same thing, but he has got to get all over it, because next year, the schedule that he's got, you got no grace next year. There is no more mulligan for you, Chief.
Hey, Sean, let me ask you something. Do you think that Joey Aguilar is a good enough quarterback to get to the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. He's one of the. He's got a lot. He's got some Casey Clausen in him. I mean, he's a gunslinger, but he makes more plays than he makes mistakes, in my opinion.
All right.
And given the circumstances that brought him here, but I'd say this with the call. I'm sorry, sir. I forgot your name.
Eric.
Yeah, Eric. Sorry, Eric. My bad. But I agree with Eric, man. And maybe you implied this and didn't say it, but if you're Josh Heupel, he's changed. He's a different head coach than he was 2 years ago. I don't know what it is. I don't advocate going for 4th down inside your own 20, but he's gone into protective mode. Someone caller on your show said earlier this week that he's developed a lot of what Fulmer had post national championship. And it's almost like trying to protect something. Right now, you're sitting at 6-3. You got nothing to protect, brother. I mean, it is when you go out against New Mexico State, Florida, Vanderbilt. Let your balls drag, man. Do it. You got nothing to lose. Absolutely, go out there. I'm not saying be reckless, but go be Josh Heupel that we loved a couple of years ago. Quit being this version of trying to protect or trying to acquiesce to this. To the old heads. No, sling that thing around, man. Do what you do, because there is nothing to play for except for pure entertainment and getting your mojo back.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. At this point, what have you got to lose, right? What have you got to lose? And you're not going to get Aguilar back next season. Let the kid roll.
Well,
thank you, fellas.
Thank you. 865-200-5402. I hadn't even thought about what he said, which is Aguilar's good enough to get you to the playoff? Because some people are going to say, no, he's not. Because he got you beat in the Alabama game and he got you beat Saturday. That's what people are going to say. Now, I don't know whether that's a fair narrative or not. I do know this. He played a hell of a game against Georgia, and they should have won that game. That Georgia game is disgusting. Georgia has made me sick all year. Because as Watson said, they got luck on their side. They got the refs on their side. I guess you just file what's happening. And Matt likes to tease me. He's like, you fade them every week, Tony, and they win every week. And Matt's right. But there have been good fades. How did Auburn lose to them? Would somebody please explain that to me? How did Auburn go and lose to that Georgia team? They were getting ready to be up 17-0 at halftime. There was a play, Bry, in one of the college games, or was it the NFL game the other day, where a ball goes over the line? It was your game, Bry. It was the quarterback reaches the. It was the fourth. It was in overtime with Jacksonville against the Raiders. It's the same exact thing. The quarterback reaches the ball over. They slap it away. They call it a touchdown in the NFL. They called it a fumble with Georgia. And Bry, it was the same. It looked exactly the same. Yes or no, Bry?
I don't think it looked quite exactly the same. The Lawrence touchdown was definite. I'm still not sure if they got the ball across, but it looks like they did in the Auburn game. The Auburn Tigers did. So
yeah,
you got, no matter which way they call it, it'd been hard to overturn.
Bry, you might just be, before it's all said and done, a real punk and clown. I gotta kind of think about it though. More calls. I want to hear from you. Let's roll today on a beautiful Wednesday. We're trying to put this Oklahoma game in the rearview mirror and getting ready for what's ahead.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. Breaking it down scientifically, moving right to left across your device, and getting as many phone calls in as humanly possible. Brian Hartman is compiling a list of the teams that have won at Florida Field, which I don't call the Swamp. It was a swamp under Steve Spurrier. At Florida Field or Benny Hill Griffin Stadium. Yakety Sax. Tennessee's got to win there. Don't win there, you're going to go 7-5. You don't win there, you're going to lose to Vanderbilt. It's going to happen. I mean, you got to win there. You got 2 weeks to figure out how to do it. And we'll go through that. But let's go back to the phones. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, Greg in Columbia. Welcome in, brother.
Hey, something I heard yesterday, and I want you guys to knock it around. I've never heard this before. Joe Klatt was the guy who was making the remarks about Tennessee's offense, and he called it a deep choice offense, choice route. and he said it's left up to the receiver to decide what they're going to run. Is that true?
Yes. Choice routes. That's right. Yep.
So
that's the magic of that
quarterbacks
offense.
Don't have any idea where he's going to be at when he throws it in, right?
Well, the magic of the offense is that they're reading each other, and the choice routes are an extension of what they do. It's what they teach.
Huh.
Yeah, that's how the choice route thing has been a part of Heupel's staple. Now, what they did this year is they added, along with the choice routes, they've gone back and they've tightened their splits as well. You know, they weren't doing the tight stuff, though, with Arkansas, Sean, as much, were they?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting.
You know, they've adjusted quite a bit, I think, to the betterment. I understand that the results aren't what we all want, but I think the change from last year with the offense, with the splits, with the bringing in the wide receivers a bit, I think that's helped Joey quite a bit.
Yeah, and Greg, that choice route stuff is something that's been here for a while now. Early in the Hendon Hooker days, they were blowing and going with that because they were really having their ways with safeties. That's the big game that the kid that won the Blitnikoff Award against Alabama, they just ran the hell out of that. They just kept throwing over them.
Well, that was something I wanted to call you guys about because I had never heard that before.
Yeah.
And it surprised me that you really don't know where the guy's going to end up. You know, I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. But anyway, that's all I had, buddy.
Well, that's what they teach. And, and it's, you know, as somebody's adroitly pointing out here on YouTube, it's one of the things that Nico couldn't get a grasp for was that, you know, just all that processing and, hey, this is where the receiver's going to be, this is where the ball needs to be, and Joey's gotten it from the very beginning.
No, I think what Greg is not picking up, and no offense, Greg, I get it if you've never heard that before. These are pretty obvious. These aren't just little subtle things like if his shoe's untied, I'm going to run a drag, or you know, if he's scratches. No, it's a fact of if the cornerback bails, then the quarterback and the receiver will both see that, and that's a clue to them, you know, just to cut off the route, or vice versa, you know, or anything like that. If you've got if the guy doesn't have, if you stacked him, meaning you're on top of the DB, then you take it for a full, you know, a go route, things like that. And I'm not quoting their playbook, but the concept is that this should not be reading hieroglyphics or old Hebrew for the receiver and the quarterback. They should be pretty obvious tells.
And somebody, again, adroitly pointing out that a lot of these principles were born from Mouse Davis, who, if you ever want to watch something crazy, go back and watch some USFL footage. Put in 1984 Houston Gamblers and watch Jim Kelly throw the ball to Clarence Verdun, Gerald McNeil, and there was a little guy on that team named Richard Johnson. All three of those guys played in the NFL, and Jim Kelly's a Hall of Fame quarterback. And they ripped that spring league apart, throwing the ball all over the field. It looked like Heupel's 2022 team, except kind of on a professional level. They were unfreaking real how far Jim Kelly could throw the ball and just how crazy that offense looked back in the day. But that's sort of what they did, a lot of that run and shoot stuff. As we go back to our phones, which is what Mike Leach was kind of an adherer to that stuff as well, and brought a lot of those principles into that game. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Taylor.
Hey, T.
Do you consider this a poorly coached team, this 25 version? Curious what you and Cinco would say, just overall. Well-coached, average, or poor?
No idea. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. They do things at times that are well-coached, but they continue to stub their own toe, and their lack of discipline really gets them But then again, they were in a position to beat Georgia, and that was a hell of a coaching job. So I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know.
Taylor, I would say consistently coached because I don't think things have changed a lot. But my problem is that Heupel always uses the term control the controllables, and they don't. These mistakes are totally controllable. You can control where you line up. You can control, if you're a covered receiver, if you're not a covered receiver. I mean, there are going to be penalties, but you can control a lot of things. And it looks, we see, okay, no one's Nick Saban, but what made Nick Saban partially great was the fact that he did not allow, he could be up 100-0. If he saw some bull crap going on, he wasn't going to tolerate it. And that stuff got corrected right then and there. My impression is that when stuff goes on with us, we go, hey, buddy, let's next time that comes around, what do you say we just correct that? No, that's not the way it works. And with the talent leveling out like it is, with the rosters getting, closer, here's another one I'm just going to say it, with the completely and not to all of us, but the completely the crazy refereeing we're getting and the unpredictable replays, you've got to control what you can control.
Agreed. Would you think if Aguilar was here for 8 or 9 months, do you think the record would be the same or different?
Well, I don't think he would have, if he were here 9 more months, would not have made Max Gilbert make that field goal. I'm not sure. I think that was a dumb play call. The at the end of the half touchdown for Alabama. So I don't think so. I honestly, he is what he is. He's a bit of a wild card, and I kind of like it. I really think that, man, I truly believe that Joey Aguilar should receive some All-SEC mention out there. I know Ty Simpson's having a nice year, but he's not the playmaker Aguilar is.
Yeah, I think Aguilar has been one of the few bright spots on Tennessee's offense. Cinco, what about, I call it the FOJ, Friends of Josh. It seems like Heupel, his DNA is I hire my friends and I don't fire them. If I have to fire them, I help them find another job. In this day and age, like you said, NIL has really leveled the playing field. I don't think that's sustainable. What are your thoughts?
Man, when we don't reach our goals or desires, me too, we want to nitpick everything. And we start picking on stuff that's not relevant to the scoreboard, and I'm there with you. I'm not going to rip him for his weight or his beard or anything like that. I think that's silly, but I'm sitting here doing the same stupid things that I'm saying other people do, so guilty as charged. But, it's when you're running, let's get real. The success of this program is part of the reason why even though she's a 3 legacy person, my daughter went over there instead of somewhere else. She had opportunities to go all throughout the country, and just the atmosphere. I took her to a game, and that was the deciding factor, as stupid as that may sound. So, I don't know that you can be a friend of Josh. I don't know that you can have our gang moment every year over there and still compete with the very best. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I think you're kind of implying that, hey, shouldn't he have a more cutthroat attitude in this environment? And I say yes.
Yeah, Nico, that's exactly it. First of all, I'm still big on Heupel. I appreciate what he's done, but the landscape of college athletics has completely changed, right? He has got to change his, well, I don't want to say demeanor. I think he's too Mark Rickish. I think he's got to have a little more of that killer instinct. To your point, you couldn't tell when Saban was coaching if it was the fourth quarter and they were up by 50 or if it was the first going in the first half and they're tied up. He coached hard. He did not suffer any fools. I'm talking about Saban. I don't know. I would hope that Heupel gets a little more of that killer instinct, and he's got to make some changes on his coaching staff, and he's got to have a little more of that killer instinct. This is a poorly disciplined team. Just look at Boo Carter and the foolishness that's gone on since July and it's carried over to a complete lack of effort. Look at that fumble that no one bothered to pounce on against Alabama. How does not one offensive player catch up to a guy limping into the end zone. That's an undisciplined, poorly coached team. Is it salvageable? Yes, but Heupel has to make some hard decisions on his coaching staff, and I think he's got to coach a little bit harder. Aguilar was a blessing. The other thing I'll say, he's backed into his two best quarterbacks. He backed into Hooker, inherited him from Cornbread, and then got the trade of the year with Aguilar. You know, he was a college quarterback at a very high level, won a national championship, should have won a Heisman. I expect better coaching, particularly the quarterbacks. Last thing I'll say on the way out is I saw an interview with Bustin' with the Boys with Vitello, a podcast. Vitello said, quote, unquote, NIL is a complete disaster. So if you want to see one of the reasons why he was open, he is tired of this paradigm shift. It is a crapshoot. It's buying players. It's open free agency, as we all know. And that's got to change somehow, some way. Keep up the good work, GBO.
Yeah, thanks. It's an interesting thing when you think about Josh Heupel, and you're asking a guy to change. Now, most guys don't. They just don't. But some do. I think about Rick Barnes, right? We say things about Rick Barnes we never thought we'd say about him. He's, in the transfer portal era, he's been a catalyst. He's an OG catalyst. Never thought we'd say that about him. Never thought we'd say it. He's an OG catalyst, is what Rick Barnes is. I'm open to Josh Heupel changing. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, is this me?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Hey, what's up, Tony? Joshy boy.
Wingzo.
Yeah. So, Tony, I don't know if I asked you this Saturday on the post-game show, but what do you think in the offseason Tennessee's first need in the portal will be, in your opinion?
I'm going to get linebackers and safeties, and I'm signing as many of those guys as I can afford. And I'm signing 3 or 4 I know we have young kids over there. I want people that can play right now. And I'm signing safeties, as many as I can afford. And by the way, as I wrote in the blog today, you don't have to spend a lot of money on these people. You can scout group of 5 programs. You can scout in the MAC. You can scout 1AA football. Football players are all over the place. But we've got some people, unfortunately, on our roster that are up front. No offense to them, but they can't play. Watson said the reason we didn't spy the other day is they don't think their guys are capable of doing that. He said that's the only reason they didn't do it.
Right. And, Tony, I think Bino said this a lot of times, and I agree with him. I think Ty Redmond is going to be a fine player for Tennessee. I think he's going to be really good.
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah. So, what is your overall thoughts on Tennessee's first game against Mercer? I kind of disagree with Dave. I think we're going to be fine, and I think our guards are going to be fine. I think it's going to take at least maybe 10 or 12 games for them to gel.
Look, I don't think you can draw conclusions on anybody's roster except Auburn, because Stephen F. and Pearl is going to be a train wreck worth watching. I don't think that to the level that Kenny Payne was at Louisville when it was the House of Pain with Kenny Payne. And by the way, prayers up for Louisville. That's terrible, 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 that tragedy with that UPS plane and those folks that perished on the ground. That is just, can you imagine? No, terrible. I cannot. Prayers up for everybody involved. Bad. But no, look, this era of college basketball, it's going to take into January for us to see who's got what. Because you remember last year, nobody thought Florida had the team they had, and they ended up winning the whole thing. So I'm pumping my brakes on everybody.
Yeah, Florida got hot at the right time, and nobody thought they had a really good team last year.
That's right, and they were excellent.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
So, one last thing out the door. So my question for you, Tony, is why do you think in the off season, and I know his game is only he dunks and stuff, but why in the off season do you think Tennessee didn't work with Felix Okpara with his jump jump shot game.
Yeah, he's just a limited offensive player. I like him. He shot a 3-ball the other night. He shot one against Duke and made it. He shot one the other night and made it. But Joshy boy, I appreciate you like there is no, because you're the king of rock, there is none higher. As is William Pattison, who comes your way with the playbook presented by our friends at VIP Play and Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my friends at VIP Play, you bet $20, you get $100 instant bonus bets. I had Flyers last night, money line, winner, chicken dinner on the road at Montreal. They outshot them 2-1, had to win in a shootout. I was on pins and needles. But Bryony boy played last night a game in the MAC. Bry, what's on the college card tonight, Bry?
2 MAC games are on the card tonight. It's Kent State, I think, is playing Northern Illinois, and there's one other game.
200 leagues, live always. You can bet C's got action tonight. Numerous bet types, props, options. VIP Play where everybody, and I do mean everybody, gets treated like a VIP. If you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. And we come back. We are heading for a TLD Logistics Overdrive overtime. And down in Gainesville, quoting the great Jeff Lynn, we're heading for a showdown, baby. And we better not lose that game.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Special shout out to our friends at Calhoun's. We will not be there on Friday. The Halloween special that we did was unreal. The crowds there, the crowd that Dubsy had on Friday will never be forgotten by this living fan. And young William Pattison, who jammed on the one, quoting the great godfather of soul, James Brown himself. Jamming on the one, jamming on the one. So we're going to do a little TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime in our corner of the world, presented by our friends at TLD Logistics. You know they're online at tldlogistics.com. Say it, know it, and write it down. I'm pretty pumped. And Brian Hartman's we're going to drop some knowledge on you in our overtime. Vol's got to win at Florida Field. Everybody wins at Florida Field. Half a league wins at Florida. Everybody wins at Florida Field. Get in line at Florida Field. Get ready for some of this, Florida. Everybody wins at Florida Field. They don't even have a coach. In the meantime, the great William Pattison will break it down scientifically on Fan Run Radio. I love you. I appreciate you. G to the B to the O. And shout out to my boy Bino. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. I'm on.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
All right, Brian, I want cold, hard faxes. And
now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
And thank you, Connexio Kristen. I got about 20 minutes in me here because my pizza's upstairs cooking and I'm home alone today. Macaulay Culkin. So now you know it. 20 minutes. We're playing beat the clock here. Bri, tell me how, or should we hold the Florida stuff till tomorrow, Bri? What do you want to do? Let's just hold the Florida stuff.
Well, okay.
Because I'm gonna get pre-urinated off. Hello and welcome into our next call. What's the harder game, Bri? Florida there or Vandy here? Which I will ask tomorrow. What do you say to that, Bri?
I'm just going to go based on history. I'll say Florida there still.
Shawnee Boy Sinclair, what say you? Florida here or Vanderbilt there?
Florida there.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in.
Hey, Tone. You asked which game's harder, Florida or Vandy?
Yeah.
It's got to be Florida because Florida's going to be playing free when we go down there, and it's at the Swamp, which the crowd there may be no crowd, no matter what time it starts, but the team's going to be loose. Vanderbilt more than likely is going to come to Knoxville and be extremely tight.
You cannot lose that Vanderbilt game, Rusty. You're going to lose a lot of credibility. Heupel's going to lose a lot of credibility in this fan base if he loses that game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he'll get crucified for it, even though losing to Vandy won't be any worse than losing to Oklahoma, but it'll feel that way because I think Vandy's as good as Oklahoma. They're not as good on defense, but they're better on offense. Yep. So I mean, but he's going to hear it because it's the little brother beating big brother. That's what's going to, that's what would do it. Hey, you with Watson was fantastic. I loved your question about not spying Mateer, and you tried to ask the follow-up, but I don't think Watson ever heard you, which was he said, why we're scared to play man-free, cover one, whatever you want to call it, and you asked him follow-up, which was, why are we scared to do that? Who are we scared of doing that with? And he never heard it, and I would love to have heard his answer on that. I think the answer is when you play cover one, you got to trust your corners to play man-to-man against receivers. That's really what it comes down to. On a 3rd and 17, you got to worry about Redmond and the star position, which is McMurray, and you got to worry about Hood all three being in man-to-man against receivers, and I think that's what he was getting at. But I think that was a great question. I'd love to have heard his answer.
Maybe we'll get him to unpack it next week. I'll make a note here.
No. Nice. Hey, you asked about Joey and this team making the playoffs. Is he good enough quarterback to make the playoffs? And it's an overwhelming yes. I'm defense. Do we have a loss right now?
Say that again. You're cut out. If what now? The defense.
If this current 25 team has 2024's defense, do we even have a loss right now?
No.
So yeah, I mean, so the quarterback that we're playing is definitely good enough to go to the playoffs. The quarterback last year was good enough to go to the playoffs, and he wasn't very good.
That's very interesting.
That's an easy yes for me.
Another thing that's really interesting is that two different types of quarterbacks have really kind of gotten the better of Heupel's offense from Oklahoma the last couple of years. And one would say, well, they ran up and down the field on you this year, but in the modern game, as we know, if I take the ball away from you and if I score with my defense while I'm doing it, I'm getting the better of you.
Yeah, I don't really think Oklahoma got the better of our defense. We had the busted play where we should have been loading the box like Doc said.
Yeah.
At the end there, and we're just playing regular base defense with two high safeties. For some reason, when you know they're not going to throw it.
Yeah. What I meant is our offense.
For the most part,
yeah.
They didn't really stop. They didn't really run it. They didn't run it down our throats. They didn't throw it down our throats.
No. Our defense was good enough to win.
We actually moved the ball much, much easier than they did.
Yes.
We went up and down the field on them.
Yes.
We just had 3 plays where we shot ourselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really the ball game was decided by 2 picks that shouldn't have been thrown, and a fumble where a tackle made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
That was the difference in the ball game. And we can crush Gilbert for missing a chippy, which if he doesn't miss that, we're never down 2 scores at any point.
Yep.
And we got the ball with the last possession to go ahead right there. But yeah, I don't see a scenario where they dominated us in any shape, form, or fashion, like has been alluded to. Last thing, how many SEC teams are going to get in the playoffs? If Notre Dame gets in, the Big Ten gets the big 3 because there's no 4th team from that conference that really has a chance.
Yep.
The ACC gets 1, and the Big 12 gets 1. That leaves 5 SEC teams.
I think it's going to be 4 at the end. I think something
so
screwy is going to happen.
You think it'll be 4 SEC, and then the Big 12 or the ACC, one of them will get an extra team?
Yeah, somebody's going to get something screwy is going to happen. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened last year, except we got 3 and the Big Ten got 4.
That's right.
And then the ACC got SMU as the extra team.
That's right. The problem with the system right now, Rusty, and this needs to be a conversation across college football, the group of 5 has an unranked football team out there that's going to get in, and that Memphis team belongs in the playoffs about as much as we do right now. You know what I mean? It's kind of a joke.
You're totally right. There's got to be
joke.
some kind of situation where they can say the group of 5 has to have at least this high a ranking.
Yeah, it's a joke.
To be in.
Yes.
The group of 5 teams got to be at least the top 15
something
to get into the playoffs.
Something. Meet some kind of measure because...
I wonder how far you got to go down to find a group of 5 team in that poll.
I don't know, Brian. It's interesting, though,
because Tennessee's ranked 25th, and I didn't see anything below that.
I mean, it's remarkable. It's a remarkable thought that because all we're doing, we're including them out of political correctness. That's all that is. It's just silly.
Of course.
It's silly.
They have because they have no playoff. They have no playoff for themselves, which is dumb.
Yeah.
So you got to give them something they can aspire to, but you can't make it be automatic. They got to meet some kind of prerequisite.
Yep.
That allows them in. Because there's years where they deserve to be in. Like last year, Boise deserved to be in. Did they deserve to be 4?
No.
The 4 seed? No. But they deserve to be in.
Right.
So Cincinnati deserved to be in the 14 playoff before they were in the Big 12 with Fickle.
That's right. That's right.
With Waddell's boys, but no, there's not every year they deserve to be in. So that's a great point by you, man. Hey, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, man. Because here's the problem: I've got 12-team playoff. Every spot's precious. Everybody's fighting like hell to get there. Some teams are going to get left at the altar, and I'm just going to give the group of 5 a spot. Why? Because it's a bunch of I mean, seriously, it's a bunch of gobbledygook where we've got to be politically correct and give them a seat at the table. They're not playing the same sport, unfortunately for them. They're not playing the same sport with the same budgets. They're not playing the same sport with the same athletes. They're not playing the same sport. And look, Memphis has a nice team. I'm not ripping them. The Silverfield guys done a real nice job down there. They're certainly capable. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But they don't belong in the playoffs. I'm sorry. But we'll go back to the phones we go. And by the way, we've got a new somebody over here at YouTube who's like, calls herself Tennis Girl 25. Is she the daughter of Negadave? Is that Negadave's daughter? Let's go back to our phones. Inquiring minds want to know. Hello and welcome in. Not that I'm here to pick fights with posters, but hi, welcome in. You're on the air. Oh, would help if I did that. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Garrett in South Bend. How we doing this
Hey,
afternoon?
Garrett. Great to hear your voice, my man.
Yes, sir. Well, I know we're running up against it, but I've heard a lot of, well, we got to fire a coordinator. We got to fire Tim Banks, whatever. I want to run some statistics.
Hit it.
By you.
Hit it.
So we got 3 losses on the year. Georgia, Bama, OU. Georgia, we blame it on the kick, whatever, but the root cause is we gave up 41 points. That's on the defense, straight up. 41 points of regulation. Alabama, you give up 30 points. The defense gives up 30 points. 7 of them was on a pick six, so that met their total of 37. And you got Oklahoma, you give up 26 points, 33 overall, but again, there was a scoop and score. Those 3 games that we lost, the defense only lost 1 of them. Okay? So you move to, okay, we got to fire a coordinator. Let's say you fire, based off of this season alone, let's say that you fire Joey Halsey. Does anything change if we hire another offensive coordinator? It's Josh Heupel's offense, and he's the one calling the damn plays. Am I crazy?
Cinco, thoughts on this gentleman's call?
I think you're right on Halsey. I mean, he's got he seems like an amiable guy. He's got a kicky haircut and a cool beard, but, it's, with all due respect, he seems like a feckless position there. But my problem with Tim Banks is he doesn't show up anywhere in recruiting. The position he coaches is abysmal. And 4 out of the 5 years he's been here, they haven't even put up, to my thing, an average SEC defense. Now, I can't back that up with stats, but I can back it up with my eyes and what I see. They don't tackle well. They haven't. Besides last year, they haven't been a great tackling team.
The most damning thing.
So I think
on his resume.
Hang on, caller. Stay there. Hang on, caller. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Sean. Finish your thought.
No, I think you can improve the team with replacing them. Plus, he makes. I don't down a guy for making his money. I'm not paying him, but I don't think we're getting great. There's no comparison between our defense and Oklahoma's defense. That's night and day. The way they play, the aggression, the tackling. Now you may say, well, they've got better players. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps if you had a stronger defensive coordinator who would get in there and fight in the recruiting wars, fight for NIL money, fight in the portal. But Tim Banks never shows up in recruiting stories.
No, he adds nothing.
Sean, that is 100%, and I'm glad you went down that route, because that's where the anger and the calling for Tim Banks' head should be coming from, is the fact that he hasn't recruited a safety in 5 years that he's been here, and that's the biggest concern on that defense. That is where the concern should be coming from in order to call for Tim Banks' head. I'm not sure that I'm there yet to start doing that, but if you have a leg to lean on, the recruiting and specifically not being able to recruit a safety, That's the lens you got to look through.
Really interesting call, man.
Need I have to remind you, we leaned on the defense last year. Look, it got us to a playoff.
That's right, Garrett. That's right. And they weren't saying that last year about him, were they?
No, absolutely not. But, hey, it is what it is. Bye week, tomato can. Let's go beat Florida. Let's go beat Vandy. Let's try to salvage this season. 11's mean at GBO.
Love it. Thank you, babe. Sean, it is interesting that Joey Aguilar has been good enough to make playoffs. I haven't even thought about it. I got to think about it. I'm going to blog on it tomorrow if he has been good enough to make playoffs or not. I don't know. Because he has turned the ball over in these 2 critical games. So, but his numbers are good and his leadership's been very good. And he really saved the season. So, Timothy McGee says, you guys keep saying Tim Banks doesn't recruit, but neither did John Chavis, just saying. Sean, what do you have to say to that?
That's not true at all. I mean, John Chavis primarily recruits a lot of the linebackers when I was there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he was certainly he was not dynamic like a Mark Bradley.
Yeah.
He didn't get the heavy hitters, but he certainly recruited his position very well. And he was very instrumental in recruiting in the state of Alabama.
And by the way, shout out to Rusty Bradley, who just got the job at Lenore City, Mark's son. And, will Rusty tab Bino Jeff Henderson to help him in that resurrection job down there as he tries to get Lenore City back into the good foot? The other thing is about these guys saying, and this is just Tim Banks when he was because I was talking with the great Ken Miller, and he reminded me that Tim Banks when he was at Penn State was one of the most dynamic recruiters we had, and one of the things we heard about him is that he was very good at recruiting up in the Detroit area, was going to open up some new territory for us. And he ain't done jack, Cinco, but count money since he's been here. No offense. And wouldn't you be better off taking his money?
His name never shows up in recruiting stories. And look, if you're going to say, well, you don't know what's going on behind this, you're right, I don't.
Yeah.
The only thing we see is when a kid is interviewed that's looking at Tennessee or committing Tennessee, and I've ridden him like a damn mule, but Billy Martinez's name shows up quite a bit when they're recruiting DBs.
You're exactly right.
Heck, I mean, we had an analyst that coached Chop. His name was almost in everyone.
Yep.
Tim Banks, don't see it. Heck, I even see
Chop.
way more for his position. The tight end coach, Coach Abe. I see his name, and I would have never thought he would have had that kind of recruiting influence. I never see Tim Banks' name.
Never. Like me and Miller were talking. Miller said, "What happened to him?
Where was he fighting for?" And again, I didn't think Jacoby Thomas was great last year, but did he put in a word or two? Hey, I'd like to have him.
Crawl him back? Tried to crawl him back? I don't know. But
I have a hard time. I have a hard time believing that there are Tim Banks defenders out there that are really sincere, that don't have either a relative component or a friend component tied to that. Because I think that performance is leaky at best.
Big Perm said, "Who do you get if Banks is let go?" And tennis girl 25 wants Shula as the next OC. I'm telling you, tennis girl, you're starting to urinate me off, and you don't want to do that because I'll rain on your brain. Actually, I'm not going to do anything to anybody. But Tim Banks, somebody says, well, who are you going to get? How about this? How about somebody with a pulse that could coach a zone defense? And like the great Dale Jones said, how about you just with your defense take something away? People say, well, you're going to pick on him after the Oklahoma game. Oklahoma couldn't execute against Farragut with their offense. Have you watched them? I mean, they blow with a capital low.
I submit 3rd and 16 on a guy that can't throw the ball.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
But I will say to the tennis girl, you have been a lot of fun today. You and Heupel's razor showing up the last couple of days has amused me. And there are some other new ones like Dooley's Spirit Pants. Brian, he's in here now. I mean, so there we go. And now Dave is in here. You're missing it on. If you don't get in here in the YouTube room, you're really missing it. Tony Basilio show at YouTube. How about Dale Jones for DC? I would love Dale Jones to come back here and do it.
I'm surprised he doesn't have some type of analyst role over there.
Well, you got to ask him, Brian. He's not in. Heupel has, as we see, Sean mentioned it earlier. Landry Jones. Where was he from, Sean? Let's go to
Oklahoma.
Go through the list. They're all. This guy was in my wedding. This guy was. And listen, you do that long enough. What they're going to call you is the former coach at Tennessee. And I'm not saying you got to hire Dale Jones. What I'm saying, though, is that you have got to constantly be re-evaling. And I want to give this coach a chance to do that. But, guys, I got to get out of here because I got my pizza upstairs. Brian, are you fired up right now? Are you pumped?
Well, since I'm not eating the pizza, I guess I'm tempered about it.
It's just like
I think that's in the book of Exodus. Do not stand between an Italian and his pizza.
Yeah, I got to go check it because I'm here alone. And the Play something lounge says, yeah, you need to check your pizza. All right, y'all. Love you.
We don't want to burn the house down, Tone. See you, Tone.
Yeah, that the pizza thing is not a bit. For those of you that think it's a bit, I got to get upstairs and get my pizza. And then I got a bunch of work done today. But hey, the new technology, the new thing we did for Alumni Hall sounds pretty good, if I could say so myself, because they got some great deals going on at Alumni Hall. What am I doing here? Why did I come off that? I'm a real goof, y'all. Whew. You talk about a guy challenged, and I will slam a door on you. And maybe scream and yell and curse and act a fool, if you know what I mean.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Yours truly, Tony Basilio, along with you, fired up, focused, and prepared for you on an incredible Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Watson Brown going to join here momentarily. It's a Wednesday with Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. We're fired up, folks, and prepared for you. And excited for another day to be with you today. Let's do this thing, shall we? Pretty stacked and packed on a Wednesday. We've got a lot to talk about and very little time to get there. I'm pretty fired up today. I'm going to tell you something. I just had like a meltdown before we came on the air today, so... what else is new? But I'm trying to get used to this technology. Like, we've got all these new computers in the studio, and all my analog stuff's being phased out. So maybe some of you have experienced this, but this thing where you got to put the two fingers on the pad, and you got to drag things over. I was just working on a commercial for Alumni Hall and a couple other things, and in the last couple days, and things don't work in here, and I just slammed a couple doors, and I aggravated Laura, and I'm just like, screaming and yelling things I shouldn't be yelling. Like, I'm not proud of it. And but geez, man, you talk about a guy urinated off. That me. And I said to her, I said, you know, do I frustrate you? And she said, yeah. Fleet Pete says analog. Yeah, I had a computer in here that we were using that was like 18 years old. It was a Mac. It was absolutely just a beautiful, wonderful piece of equipment, and it quit on me. No, actually, it was a Hewlett-Packard. I traveled all over the country with it, doing infomercials in the orthopedic industry from